President Trump visiting Ohio and Texas today, meeting with victims and first responders. Team 12's Bram Resnick joins us live from El Paso. And Bram, while many welcomed the president, not everyone was happy about his visit.
Yeah, that's true, Mark, and we'll get to that in just a minute. First, I want to show you the haunting sight of the memorial above the hilltop at the Walmart here in El Paso. The cross is there for 22 victims. You can see the novena candles burning at night, creating a very spiritual space for the wave after wave of mourners who've come here. But today was about anger and grief. President Trump declaring success after his closed-door visits to these grieving communities today. But large numbers of people in Dayton and especially here in El Paso protested Mr. Trump's presence. President Trump on the ground in Dayton, Ohio, and met by protesters with a very clear message. That message coming in the wake of the weekend attack that killed 10 people in a popular bar district. Amazing grace. At this El Paso Strong community rally, many blame Trump for the massacre in their city.
This hate that he's sprung upon us is unwarranted. We didn't do anything to him. 22
people were gunned down at a Walmart, the suspect specifically targeting Latinos.
I'm having a hard time. I had to go to Walmart today, and I had a hard time walking into another Walmart. And I was fearful, and then I was very sad. I think you can just feel the tension all around everybody.
The community on edge.
Take off that hat!
This shouting match.
He's here to thank all the police officers and the first responders.
Erupting at the memorial on a hilltop near the Walmart. In El Paso, the president followed the Dayton script, meeting in private with survivors and first responders.
A lot of heroes, a lot of people did just incredible work.
This family assistance center in downtown El Paso provides a wide range of services to anyone needing help. Mass shootings are just one more calamity that calls the Phoenix-based American Red Cross into action.
You know, this has become an all too familiar incident, and the Red Cross is going to be there.
And we're learning tonight that none of the 8 patients at the El Paso hospital the president visited agreed to meet with him today. And the first of the 22 victims in this massacre will be laid to rest on Thursday. Live in El Paso, Bram Resnick, 12 News.
All right, Bram, thanks.